Well, it's 9 o'clock. I
Pledge allegiance.
There we go, yep. Go ahead.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone should be awake now.
We'll hear it, yep.
Convene as the Walworth County Plan and Zoning Board. Is there any old business? New business? Hearing none, I take a motion.
I'll move to adjourn.
I got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
Second.
Second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. I'd like to convene as Walworth County Board of Zoning Adjustment. Is there any old business? New business?
Hearing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
I'll second.
Got a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. Convene as the Board of County Commissioners. I need a motion to approve the County Commission Planning and Zoning Adjustment Minutes for September 6, 2018.
So moved.
Okay, I got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
I'll second.
A second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. Has everybody had a chance to go over the claims?
Is Penny gonna be here to ask that question?
I didn't see her pick up this morning, so I didn't know.
It was on the agenda, so I hope so.
Can we hold off on the claims until Penny gets here to ask her about some free project?
I guess I'm kinda curious on the jail, or what's a compact refrigerator? What do we need a compact refrigerator for?
It's a mini fridge. I don't know if it's,
Is it for medicine or something?
it must be. I would assume it's something
Okay.
along those lines.
If nobody has anything, then if you wanna exclude that one until Penny gets here. I take a motion.
Need a motion on the claims except for the one for the highway deal? Oh, so moved.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
Second.
Got a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. I don't think anybody wants to talk, so. Order number 14. Consider motion to adopt change to the personnel manual regarding health insurance.
This is what we talked about at the last meeting. Just changing a little wording in the policy to reflect the changes to the HSA. And I changed it so that we're at a point where we won't have to come back and change it every year if we decide to do a different amount in the HSA, because that just kind of ends up being a pain. So, did everybody get a chance to look at it? If not, I have some copies here with me.
I like the wording in it.
That way we can just make a separate motion every year for whatever we want to put in the HSA and be done with it. So.
I make a motion to approve the change.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
I'll second.
Got a second. Any more discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. Okay, number 15. Consider motion to set county HSA contribution for 2019 at $2,000 per covered employee. Need a motion for that?
So moved.
Okay, got a motion on the floor, I need a second. Got a second, any other discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed.
Did we take some money out of the Bank West money market?
What do you mean, take some money out of there?
This year we're, does that money market carry over from one year to the next?
Yeah, that's our main account. That's where the money comes out of to pay for everything.
Well, last year we was at 3.5 and this year we're at 3.2.
Spending more money.
Just because of what we had put in from last year to cover everything.
Well, it's gonna fluctuate, but money's gonna go down when you keep spending it,
That's like just our general checking account.
pretty much, yeah. We transfer that money into our checking account whenever we pay bills or payroll or anything.
I move for approval.
Okay, got a motion on the floor, I need a second.
I'll second.
Got a second, any other discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. Number 17, consider motion to appoint emergency manager.
We met as kind of a board with Ted, and we did the interviews. Our recommendation would be to hire Amanda Silvernagel because of qualifications.
What was there? How many were there?
2.
Are you making that into a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Amanda as emergency manager.
Okay, I got a motion on the floor. I'll need a second.
I'll second.
Got a second. Any other discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. Okay, number 18, consider motion to adopt resolution 2018-11, adoption of the 2019 annual budget.
You'll have to read that resolution. It's in the back page here. Yeah.
Adoption of the annual budget for Walworth County, South Dakota. 7/21/5 through 13. SDCL provides that the Board of County Commissioners shall each year prepare a provisional budget and all contemplated expenditures and revenues as county and its institutions and agencies for such fiscal year. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners did prepare a provisional budget and cause same to be published by law. Where dues and legal notice has been given to the meeting of the Board of County Commissioners for the consideration of such provisional budget, and all changes, eliminations and additions have been made there. Now therefore to be resolved that such provisional budget as amended and all its purposes, schedules, and appropriations amount, estimates, and all the matters therein set forth shall be approved and adopted by the annual budget appropriations and expenditures for the Walworth County, South Dakota, and all its institutions and agencies for the calendar year beginning January 1, 2019 and ending December 31st, 2019. And the same is hereby approved and adopted by the Board of County Commissioners of Walworth County, South Dakota, this 17th day of September of 2018. The annual budget so adopted is available for public inspection during normal business hours at the office of the county auditor, Walworth County, South Dakota. The company taxes are levied by Walworth County for the year January 1, 2019 through December 31st, 2019.
This page shows the differences due to the insurance changes. It's separate.
Were those the only changes that were made, Becky, is the reflection on the insurance?
Between the provisional and the annual,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Okay, I got a motion on the floor, I need a second.
I'll second.
Got a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed. Well, Penny's not here. Where Josh is at. Kinda need one of them.
I'll go down and get Josh.
I'll just jump down to 22 real quick. I just have one thing on old business. Just wanted to inform the commissioners that there is a meeting tomorrow night at the Selby Auditorium about the jail, about the nursing home, so more people the better.
You guys are talking too fast, slow down.
What time is that?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
We'll get Josh up here, I guess.
Ryan.
You guys wanna approve that abatement while we're waiting? You already discussed it, it just needed to be on that. That was that, John, was it John Douglas?
8437.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll jump at 20 to 21. Consider motion to approve abatement for record number 8437.
So moved.
We got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
Second.
Got a second. Any other discussion on that?
The amount is $862.62.
How many cents?
$862.62.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion passed.
You have a question?
Oh,
I just have something from old business too. On those MOUs, are those numbers exactly, or have they changed? Because you said you were gonna talk to the elevator, but I'm still rolling with the numbers that you gave me originally.
They haven't changed it yet, but I think we'll just go with the numbers and
Okay.
and they'll they talked that they'd supplement more when they, this month.
So I'll just roll with what we have and
Yeah,
get those
for
out
right
then.
now, yeah.
Okay.
And then I got to visit again with the city, and the city felt that they could give us more for the road project.
We just wanna stick with the numbers.
Yeah, stick with them right now, and we'll get that money for sure.
So I'll get that up to Becky for signature, and then you wanna mail those out? So we get that squared away.
Because I got to sit down and talk to Northern Plains again.
It would just be good to get them out and signed, so we got that done.
Yeah.
Sheriff was right in the middle of something right now, but he said he'd be up as soon as he could, so.
We're kind of at a standstill until we get one of them.
How's the recycling thing going with the new building?
Good, we got, some of the stuff moved over, got our forklift, both the balers moved over, now we just gotta set the balers up and get them wired in, and then probably be ready for drop-off collection at that site. Hopefully next week, I'll get a flyer in the paper and let everybody know, and then we'll probably move one of the recycling trailers over here to Selby. Find a place to stage it over here, because with the public drop-off at that building in Mobridge, we won't need that one trailer that we got over there, so.
You're probably just gonna put it down at the highway like it used to be?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it's as good a spot as any. I'd like it to be well lit. The one at the highway shop, I don't think that was open 24/7, was it? I think they locked and unlocked that one, but.
Couldn't it be right, right where that fence is, where the old one used to be?
Right, yeah.
No, I meant right to the east of there, where them culverts are.
I think so. I don't see why not, as long as Penny's okay with it. We're just so cramped for space up here, otherwise it'd be nice to have it up here, because we got cameras, on the whole parking lot, but with the lack of space, it's kind of tough. But I'll find a spot for it over here.
You got anybody in the register right now? I think 2 people just went in there.
Well, I guess I got some new business I could talk about, if nothing else, so. Our forklift that we had out at the landfill is moving into town, so I'm gonna need something out there. I don't know for sure what exactly I'm gonna do. There's some forklifts in surplus. I think it would be easier to get something like a skid steer out there personally, because I could use it for more than one thing, but the price difference is pretty extreme. I know this skid steer, like the one that Penny got, I think that was about $63,000, so I mean, it's pretty spendy. And I wasn't anticipating spending that much, but I have it in the budget, because I was planning on putting up a 30-foot tall fence this year, but we're trying one other alternative option before we take that route, so I saved some money that way this year and spent $20,000 on a fence instead of over $100,000 on a fence. So the money's there, I'm just kind of wondering what route to go,
Now, the fence you're gonna put up, would have been around everything, 30 foot?
It would have been a perimeter, along the south perimeter. It was banking on over 1,000 foot of 30-foot tall fence. Instead, we're trying some portable.
That's dull.
Very tall.
The paper will still go over top of it.
What do they use for the,
It'd be the
the
height
webbing
of
is
this building.
Yeah. It's all nylon netting is what they put out for it.
how the hell you clean it out then? I mean, when it's,
Well, it all falls down.
yeah, but I mean,
It'll stick to it, and then when the wind drops, it'll fall. That's when you need to clean up. But just so sick of chasing paper all the way to the river. It's to be.
Buckets that put RA poles in there.
They do, yeah, that's what they are, yeah. It's the cantilever on top, but I'm trying to avoid having to do that because it gets pretty expensive. But then again, that'd be something that you put up once and never have to worry about it again, basically. But I have, that's, the point was, the money's in there, in the budget this year for the purchase. If I wanted to, if we thought it was a good idea, I don't know, I'm gonna need something that can act as a forklift, either a forklift or a skid steer with fork attachment or something. I think a skid steer would be a little bit more useful, especially for snow removal, that kind of stuff, but I don't know if it's worth the extra expense.
You can find some pretty good shaped ones, used ones.
I'll keep my eyes open and see what's around.
Hers was brand new, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good deal on a brand new skid steer. 63 grand for what she got there. That was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, if I was gonna sell mine would be good because mine's only got 150
Yeah.
hours.
But if I got one, I'd want one with tracks on it. I mean,
It
that's
is.
the
That's
only
what
way
it
to
is.
go. Yeah. Especially out there, that's really the only way to go. So I'll keep my eyes open.
Speaking of snow, what kind of damage you have with that tall fence with snow, you pulling it down or? I mean, it's gotta be
Theoretically,
a
it
huge
shouldn't.
snow fence.
Oh, it
Act as a
would, I'm
huge
sure it
snow
would
fence.
act like a snow fence, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm sure it would drift up there and everything,
Definitely hell on barbed wire fences.
yeah. But it might be, the fence that I did buy was still a nylon net fence. It's only 10 foot high and it's portable, so that'll kind of show me how, durability wise those will hold up. We're experimenting.
New mics.
Yeah, for now.
They need to turn it on.
It's not, it's too much feedback.
I'll talk loud.
Really?
Not you.
My voice carries, I don't know. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're up.
Sorry about the wait.
We're
It's a Monday.
Did we get the email versions or any copies?
I never got, well, I got this one, it's the only one I got.
Okay.
Everybody got one? That first one I gave you was the sheriff's office report. The second one, this one, you guys, is the medical billing that I got from, that Brenda keeps track for us.
There we go.
Also, on the agenda, I have a generator. That's just an FYI item. I was just gonna let you know that, Mr. Quinzer's gonna try and, get that placed. We talked with the highway department to try and get it on the concrete pad. He's gonna be over here when they lift it on there. And then hopefully, he's trying to finish some jobs up, but hopefully within the next month or so. He didn't give me a definite day, but it sounds like short order he wants to get that project done. So just kind of an FYI item, let you know what's going on with that.
Does he know that it has to be completed so we can get the grant? It has to be done before.
Yeah. Yeah. And I discussed that for him, or with him, and then he said that, no, it's gonna be well before that. He actually gave me a couple of weeks, but I don't know if he's gonna know that that's a time estimate, so. And he did, talk with Cummins Diesel, Becky, so they're gonna try and be here for the whole thing to get the jail one up and going too. So there isn't separate miles, so. Any discussions on my report?
Sounds like it.
Any questions on the jail report? Newly presented? And that, just for clarification, it'll be for the month of August. I haven't talked to Niall yet, Becky, but I think the jail revenue that's been coming up has been fine so far, that she's been getting.
From what I see. We had quite a bit come in recently.
Okay, next item on there. I kind of jumped around, sorry about that. The report that was asked for on the meals boarding and numbers findings. I'll let Dustin give that report at this time.
Yep, I think it goes back through, January through, well, ended August, because August is here. And, like I said in the email, there was some calculations and mathematical stuff that I found from the report I get from over at the jail. So I went through it. I believe it was a difference of, what I came up with was $7,885. Bills of invoices and bills have been sent out. Some of that's already been received in. And I will, from now on, go over them and find people myself before you get them.
What was your amount there, Justin?
Difference
7,000?
that I found, yeah, $7,885.
You guys get this report?
No.
It was emailed. They emailed it out to you.
I'll make sure you guys have copies.
I got one.
Okay. Anybody else didn't get it?
I got it in there.
So So do you know what it brings it up to you for money taken in then? This would be through August?
Through August, it would be 200,605. Is what filled out.
And what were you finding for numbers? Where was it at that you're finding it now?
There was some miscalculations in the number counts on the sheets that I get from next door. So I went back through and counted it all myself, and each individual month, and my numbers were different than her numbers. I brought her in, we talked about it, I showed it to her, we went through it, so she's gonna do her due diligence as well, but I will be double checking them from now on before you guys get them.
So was meals count, right?
Meals count is accurate in every month except June, and I have went through June, I don't know how many times. And I'm still coming up with the same amount of numbers. This month, if you look at August,
Was you finding the inmate count was matching up to the meal counts after you went through them?
yeah, it's everything, every month was good, except for June still got that erroneous 400 in there for some reason. I even asked Josh to, we went through it together, and he rattled off numbers, I used the calculator, and we still come up with the same thing. I'm still rolling through that one in my mind to come up with,
And that just happened to be the one month that I picked to look at.
yeah, let's shoot a pick of paper or something. But it's good you did, because it's something to keep an eye on. This month, I think it was a difference of 7, somewhere in there.
One was they had the invoice made out, one was a billing error. Was there 3 of them?
There was one billing error. The invoice had the correct amount in the top portion of it, but the total was not correct. Should have been a 5,000 some odd dollar invoice, and it was only 3,000 some odd dollars on the bottom.
And one we just missed an invoice and like sending it out. We found the invoice, but it was just not sent out.
The invoice was made, just wasn't printed and sent, number one.
Have you thought about going back to last year and check to see if there's some,
I asked if he wanted that done, at this time, not yet. I guess if Josh wants it done, or if you guys want it done, I certainly can entertain it. It will take some time, go through 12 months, but.
what's the rest of the commission feel?
Well, I think one of the comments on your email was that approximately, we come up with approximately $20,000 that was stated that was not billed out, and you're finding 7,800. Well, I think where that difference is that 410 meals served, when you calculate that backwards, there's $10,000 in revenue right there that isn't billed out if the meal count is right.
Yeah, and I got every sheet from, all my sheets I get from next door are all saved, if you guys want to come look at them. Pending his approval, because they all got inmate names and stuff on them, so that I went through, and I can certainly show you how I do it, or show you what I did, how I came up with what I came up with.
Because even this report in, excuse me, for the month of August, if you take all the days served and add them up, our meal count, not that it's a big deal, but a meal count, if you took 3 times the days served, it would be 2,373.
Yeah, I believe it's a difference of 7 or somewhere in there.
So how the meal count gets more than the days served is what I guess I'm questioning.
You know, and I know, like I said, we just, with this start of September, we started keeping track of employee meals and meals that go out for sack lunches, because those are all going to be accounted for, so I'm hoping that will be part of the erroneous errors that were in there, but we'll see after this next couple of months here. Because
Sack lunch is one explain.
if they weren't keeping track of the sack lunches going out, if we got people coming in and out, you USM's coming and taking 5 or 6 to court and wanting sack lunches to go for the day. They were just giving them sack lunches, not putting them down in the meal count. Which they're still part of the meal count, in my opinion, because they had been there eating them if they were still here. So they need to be written out.
So, but then wouldn't your meal count be higher?
Yeah.
So doesn't that just, it throws all the numbers even further out?
That's why I got it split out and they're keeping track of every meal that if they eat a meal, if they go out for anything, they'll be wrote down now.
Who's paying for the employee meals?
I guess the rule was when they work over there, they are allowed to eat there. Since I've been here. Just the COs, the sheriff's office has to pay.
They're eating over there, they bring their own.
Yeah, right now,
lunches.
I don't know how many they're eating there, but they do, if there's leftovers, have a meal. Once in a while.
And Josh, we've looked at the June and still can't figure out where that huge.
We looked at the meal sheet, cross-reference with the numbers and the jail log, and we're not finding the discrepancy right now, so.
Because I think like Marion said, I think that's where you found that other,
Well, if you back that out, I mean, at 3 meals at 410 meals?
Yeah, it was.
Extra?
Yeah, 4 something.
I mean, that's basically 113 days served that isn't being billed out if you take, 3 meals a day. Now, depending on what they are, if that's US Marshals or out of county or what the rate is, but, I mean, even if you'd average $80, that's 9 or 10 grand.
but what kind of got me puzzled, like the July, how does your cost for a meal fluctuate so much where, you're usually staying at that $1 or something, like July?
It depends on the
75
number.
cents,
Yeah, it depends on the number of inmates I got in there. Like if the number went down and I got so much stock I had, because July I didn't buy a whole lot of groceries. In a couple week period there, I had plenty on hand to use up, so. I know that one was like 75 cents or 78 cents.
75.
Yeah. Comparing, for this one, I put in there, that was what was spent in August and divided by the number of meals, and that's where the 108 came from. It doesn't figure in any cost of wages or anything, but they're already working, we don't have a specific cook now.
It's never been figured into, it's always been part of it.
Yeah, it's always been part of what they do. Unless when Patty was there, it was different, but.
You're showing $2,560 of food costs for the month in August. Are these claims for August? That's not for August?
Well, depends. Like, it depends on when they get their bills up to us. I don't know if
Okay,
Markle's.
okay.
Yeah, see, I base it on just what I spend that month,
Okay,
not when the claim comes.
okay. Because I was just seeing on the claims, we only had
Yeah,
$74 worth of groceries for the,
yeah. See, I base it on the receipts that I spend, because I have the receipts down there, copies of them, and I grab all them, and that's how I come up with my number. 'Cause I know
First
that's
meeting,
what I
a bunch
spent
of
that
August
month.
bills would have been paid too,
okay.
so. Depends on when the vouchers are submitted.
Yeah.
What do we get for a phone call?
That's just phone calls coming in, just regular phone calls. When cattle out or some dog running around.
You say it was billed in the months, up through August, we billed out 200,605.
Yes.
Do we know what we received?
I can go run it quick. That does not include September, obviously.
So we received through August $172,041.94.
72.
172,041.94.
So September should have had 38,000.
Well, September wouldn't be billed out yet, though, right?
No.
So it'd just be through August, so basically August this should be about 38,000.
You can look at that last page of that one report, should show you what. 14,9, 10, and 7.
Oh, that's on that, okay.
Yeah, because it looks like you billed out 34.6 in August.
Yeah, and there's some old stuff that will be coming back into from that 7,885.
This person trying to pay all their rate.
Portion paid the 25, 65 there, short.
There's 14, 10, 24, 35, 35,000.
Does anybody else have any questions on that?
Okay. Next bullet item, I got elected officials meeting discussion, public assurance alliance training. Saw several of you there. 3 of you. What did you guys think of that morning session? Informative?
Just another one to say we're gonna be sued for anything we do. It wasn't, he did a good job of putting it on. He was
Oh, I
very
think-
knowledgeable about doing it.
I think it would, I mean, as far as the material itself, I mean, it's out there. I mean, it's basically, that's what they do. And that individual brought in by our insurance, letting us know what those liabilities out there and how much liability there is with law enforcement and jails nowadays. I guess with your statement right there, coming back and how easy it's being sued, to get sued. It's, if we're doing our due diligence, we should be able to stay clear of that stuff. but it's when we start cutting corners and trying to circumvent or circle around certain things, that's when we're gonna get caught with our pants down, so to speak.
Are all of our CEOs got all the training that he was talking about?
What do you mean as far as?
All the ongoing training that he was talking about, if they're trained for this?
Well, my budget's very tight. You guys took more out of it this year. So I'm gonna be able to do less, obviously, because that all comes out of there. So that does not help. They all take their suicide prevention. There's stuff that they can do online that they do, I have them do. They go through the certification process, the MedPass cert, and, we do everything that I think we can at this point, but when dollars get cut out of the budget, that's where we're gonna hurt, because I won't be able to, have training for them or send them anywhere if something comes up, because some of it you will need to send them to a location. So that's one thing that we have to look at. And like I said, there was money cut out of that budget, so I don't know where we're gonna be right now.
So everything that they've been trained on, is that in their records?
Should be, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
If there's a certificate issued, their MedPass, everything should be in their file.
If it was in this billing cycle or the next one, if they just got their med certifications done, I've seen that bill come out, if it was in this one or not, okay? That was, our nurse in Pew that does that, she did the med pass and then the CPR AED, they just got done for the newest class we have, the newest employees. So, that's taken care of.
And all that's documented in all their
Yep,
files?
I got copies of everything, yep.
Something comes out and I can get them to it, I try to, but sometimes budget constraints don't let me do that.
Our insurance offers a lot of training online, but I don't know if it's anything that would help you.
Law enforcement side, they do have some stuff on jail, but they have a portion, but we're already utilizing another site for the suicide prevention and stuff like that, so.
And we got one of them coming up and they're gonna send a disc too. So I'll be able to take that over there and they can watch it on the computer. And that counts for their training.
Are we documenting each individual case, like he was talking about when people are coming in, is everything getting documented, like he said needs to be documented?
It does. You mean bond booking process,
Yeah.
Marion? Yeah, I mean, we have our booking process, we've changed the questionnaire for the suicide prevention. That's changed. Some of the booking questions have changed, not too much, more on the mental illness side. Have a lot of mental illness that comes in, as the Diesel stated. A lot of them end up in jails, which that's nationwide, but it's not statewide either. That's not where they need to go, that's a healthcare issue. And it's not a criminal act to have mental incapacities or anything like that, so, but that's where they go because that's our safe place. And that's the only place, and if they're a little bit belligerent, the hospitals don't want them. So that's our safe place, that's where we go with them, so that we can try and watch them the best that we can, then release them back out into the public and something else happen. Because we don't want to do that either. So. We have the same training at the Sheriff's Association. Usually it's Jack Ryan, but like I said, this individual does the same thing as Jack. Same type of training. But I went anyway, see, because I learned something every time I go. There's some kind of new case law. I may not hear about it, something changed. Due to something that occurred. So, like I said, it was a good hour for me. They had the same session later on, but I couldn't be away for 4 hours. So, or all day, so to speak, because there's one offered at law enforcement training too, right after that, from 1 to 5. So, same speaker and stuff. So, that's why you guys seen me there that morning. I took that one in, so it was easier to hit that one and be away all day for the other one.
Anything else on that? Then we go to plans for after election. I asked everybody to do a little thinking on that. Guess, Jim, what are your thoughts?
I can only see one option is for us to build. It is gonna break the county if we start housing out of county and we don't have afford to run this one. Cost us basically $300,000 to run our jail last year. By the time we take off the out of county income. If we go to out of county, this is gonna, I think the tax increase to build a jail is gonna be expensive, go down to county. Then it would break the county in a few months, or in a few years. I'm convinced of that, because you're not gonna have any of that out of county income coming in to subsidize the budget.
Kevin?
I have an idea of what to do. Everybody knows that we basically have 3 options. Build a jail. If the jail goes down, then we gotta decide whether to, what we're gonna do with the jail or house them out. I got an idea of what I would like to see, but I don't think it's the time or the place to put out what I think what we should do, just because it might sway voters to vote one way or another. This is, we spent $60,000 already between architects, engineers, and every consultants and everything else. This is why we put it to a vote. They got the information out there, let them decide on it. Once they decide on it, then we'll make a decision. If it comes back yes, then we don't have to make a decision. They made the decision for us. If it comes back no, then we have a decision to make. I don't feel that we should be putting our decisions out there now until after the vote comes back, because it could sway the vote.
Josh?
Well, got asked to produce it, or come up with a, I guess I'm the only one that brought paperwork. This way, man. Plan B, obviously, is what was brought up, was remodeling. Remodeling the jail, you know, plus if we did that, I don't have exact figures because I didn't have time to restudy those numbers, those number costs. We did at the time when we, with our consultant and EAPC, they came up with a renovation model, and I guess that's the only thing that we can come even close to, because you can't, that's bringing the full building up to code and where it needs to be. It's not going to fix some of our problems because you won't be able to fix structurally what's going on in there with how the jail is set up. So obviously we're going to lose bed space. With any renovation, you have to, all your new federal codes and everything come in. So I mean, you're looking at plumbing, windows, doors, I mean, a whole lot of stuff. So, and I got some, we'll have to, that renovation, you won't be able to use it. So then we're gonna have to house out of county anyway during that time. because you won't be able to work on one side, one portion of it with the way the ventilation and everything's, it'll suck everything into the other cell blocks, so you'll have to shut it down just to do a renovation. I don't think that's a good option because we're not fixing a lot of our stuff. But like I said, I don't have numbers. If I remember correctly, I can't remember for sure, and I couldn't find my email. But it was at, if I remember right, it was at $6 to $7 million to do a renovation when they did that study. And that's who we, that's what the consultant and EAPC, they put those numbers together. So, temporary closure for the renovation's roughly $262,000. And that's for possibly 1 year, and that's using, obviously, numbers from the previous year. Approximately, we tried to do the best we can. These are guesstimates because we don't know what we're gonna have for medical and stuff. 120 trips. Medical, court, CSO holds. Does not count for trips when arrested or emergencies may arise in the, because we can't plan for those. Falk County, 120 times 152 miles, round trip is 18,240 miles times 53 cents per mile, which is federal rate I used. $9,672 plus $56.94 for 3 hours. That's your hourly wage just to transport. And an $85.41 overtime rate. Now these are all guesstimates, so because you don't know where these are all going to be. Hughes County, 120 times 180 round trip, 21,600 miles times 53 cents, 11,448. Plus $75.92 for 4 hours, $113.88 overtime.
How did you come up with the 180 transports? Is that?
Miles, I think,
That's
right?
miles.
Oh,
Yep.
what did you come up with your number of transports in a year to take people to and from?
Remember what we used?
Well, you had 52 for sure,
yeah,
because there's
52.
52 Mondays in a year.
That's-
And then, you know, we took a guesstimate on medical, other stuff that's gonna be in there.
It's hard to estimate or estimate because we don't know what those are.
So you're not even counting in your transports to the custody of the jail or other entities?
No.
Transports, okay.
No,
That's just everything but?
Approximately 120 trips between medical and court and CSO holds, and does not account for any other trips for arrests or
Okay.
emergencies. Okay, Beetle County, 120 times 330 round trip, 39,600 miles, 53 cents per mile, $20,988 plus $113.88 and $170 overtime. Like I said, those are only guesstimates, those aren't for sure numbers because I have no way of knowing those numbers right now. I was trying to figure that out. That's our hardest thing to try and figure out is that mileage right now. The only thing I can go back and we don't really keep track right now because it's, I mean, everything's done right here, but like I said, I don't know how else to come up with that number. So we did the basic at 52 Mondays and or Tuesdays if there's a holiday for court. And you're looking at round trip. Some of that, if they're sitting here, it's gonna be overtime for them. You know, plus we got meat, you know, you're gonna have to feed them while they're here.
Well, this year's been our highest medical year for a couple of years. I don't know what that's gonna be either. This weekend, we got more medical bills coming in. We had one go over for, on Saturday evening, had to go to the ER, to get some meds for heart problems. And last night, we had one crash with a blood sugar. We got him back with an IV from the ambulance, but he didn't make a trip, but still gotta get it billed, obviously.
Obviously, I came up with a B and C. That's my best B that I can do right now. I don't know what else, but the chairman asked you guys to bring reports, and I'm the only one that's bringing reports. So I don't know what the deal is, but my next one, obviously Plan A being the new build, Plan B with renovation. My next one is closing and going out, being alternate. I'm just gonna let you know, and some of that stuff is estimates. I'm over $1 million already.
On the closing side?
Correct, Scott.
Figuring in what?
Everything. The different rates, my staffing, the operations, and the approximate mileage and
Transport van.
And that's just based on how many trips, Josh?
We still use that 120 for
yep,
the average.
the 120, same thing as what was in the other. As approximate numbers. Because I will not be able to, I won't be able to do it with current staff. There's no way.
You're saying you'd have to add staff to close?
The sheriff's on the side, because jail would be non-existent if you closed it.
The sheriff's staff would have to increase, but the sheriff's staff, we wouldn't be able to use some of the jail staff to shift over to that? You've got right now in budget of 15 people on the jail staff. If we don't have a jail, you wouldn't have 15 people there, right?
But now getting them through training and whatnot, which is 3.5 months long. And I won't be able to get, very many. I'll be lucky to get one person in, and they only do 3 a year for training. And that's where we disagree, because you guys, I know Kevin thinks that this CO can do those, and I'm not gonna do that, not for those long transports. They're gonna have arrest powers. They have to an effect an arrest if there's an attempt on an escape or anything. I'm not gonna, again, we're talking about liability, you guys. And our liability and stuff goes up because we're on the road that long. So I know, Kevin, you've said that, and that's fine, that's an opinion. But my opinion is we're gonna do the best and give them the best training that we can if they're gonna be in charge of lieutenants. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna budge from that. So that would mean sending them through the academy. And that's the best thing that we can do. And those guys are they're gone for that month, that time frame. They're on the payroll during that, because they have to be covered for insurance purposes.
Anything else, Josh?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Marion?
Well, I didn't have anything printed out or anything, but I guess the election is definitely going to be the deciding factor as to which way we're going to go. If the election, if it passes, then I think our options are basically we know what we're going to do. We're going to build a jail. I still am not convinced if it passes that we want to keep the liability of the inmates in jail, especially after that meeting down in Pier, until the new facility is built. I'm really questioning that whole thing. To me, I feel like in that process, maybe we keep our own, but the out of county, the BIA, all that stuff, I really question whether or not we can do that. Just to eliminate our liability at that point. So if that's the case and it passes, that's what I guess I feel that we keep our own at that point. Until it's done, and then bring the other ones back in. If it fails, then I guess I feel like we need to, again, basically move people out of here until we get a handle on things. Maybe if it's a year or 2 years or whatever, and we decide to build ourselves a jail that can handle just our own inmates and not have to have all of the regulations that we have as a regional facility. Somehow or another, Falk County is getting by with one person on staff.
Not gonna do that, Marion. Would you go work in that jail?
I'm just saying, somehow or another, they're doing that.
I understand, but look at, I mean, even with 5 people in there, Marion, with what that person is doing, I mean, would you go do that? That's a heck of a liability that we're putting on those people.
I just feel that if
Right
we...
there, right there, I mean, everybody's worried about liability and whatnot. It doesn't matter if I have 1 or 10 in there. That isn't proper supervision. I'll argue that till the cows come home. We do not want that liability. I'm sorry.
I would just say that if we're going to use Falk County should be in compliance with all of the guidelines, to be honest. Because that's not, I would have to agree that,
I don't disagree with that.
yeah, but
No,
we
I don't
need
disagree with that at all.
to eliminate the liability, we need to make sure that whatever facility we use is going to comply with the guidelines, so that way we as a county are covered by sending them to a substandard jail.
But don't you think that Falk County, if that's what they've got there, is one right now, it's because they don't hardly have anybody there.
That's exactly right. And they're trying to, they're weighing the odds. You're absolutely right. They don't have many, so they're trying to run it with the less staff. And it's all a gamble. It really is when you're talking about the odds of something happening versus the money that we're paying now to house. And that's kind of what they're looking at.
Doesn't that affect, I mean, unless I'm misunderstanding that, but isn't there a major difference between a county jail and a regional jail as far as liability, what you got in there for standards?
It's based upon numbers.
But
There is no standards for South Dakota. There is no set standards for a jail in South Dakota. And that comes straight from that Ashley that we talked to down there.
Well,
Or not Ashley,
But isn't there a difference? Correctional Institute, isn't that even different than, like, say, what we are right here? Isn't that kind of what Brad is?
Versus state prison and stuff like that, you mean, Scott? Or-
Well, the Correctional Institute, I think, has different laws like than a jail in South Dakota. I think, unless I'm way off base, but I think
Like a
I'm
jail
using the
versus a
right
prison.
word.
Yeah, correctional
Well,
institute is like a prison.
Yeah, and I-
Like where Brad's from, Wisconsin has standards for that state. North Dakota has standards for jails. We do not. That's not an scapegoat for us to cut the fat and cut corners and whatnot, just because we don't have anything. The end result comes back on me, because that's why I want to have the best training for these guys. Because it is up to us to train our employees and make sure that they do know the job. So I guess, and maybe I misunderstood you, Mr. Foreman, but I guess that if you weren't saying that, I apologize, but, I mean, going down to one, if that's how I took that, but, so, I apologize, but.
I'm just saying, I think that if we went to, if the county decides to not pass this jail bond, and we decide down the road that we need to have a jail, and we decide just to put a jail up for our own inmates, I'm questioning, do we need the staff that we currently have to do just our own inmates? Not having to deal with all the federal regulations because of the BIA and the US Marshals and all this other stuff. That's what my opinion from talking to people, I feel like that's where people would rather lean towards, not have to mess with all the rest of it. But that's just the information that I'm getting. I think some of the biggest comments that I've had is,
Yeah, you go ahead, sorry.
some of the biggest comments I've had is, why are we putting up a jail for out of county, all of these other people? Why don't we just mess with our own?
And that's.
We've talked about that, I know, many times.
And that's what needs to be decided. But we, like Scott said, and I agree with him, we need to go in with a plan in the election process. Because, you know, as soon as that day comes, we'll know that night. And there should be that plan B or C, whatever that is, should go into place. But I guess as far as the staffing, I don't know the answer to that because we have, it changes so much. We may have 5 in there, you know, let's say we were housing our own, we may have 5, we could go up to 24 people. 2 people is no longer adequate to supervise those, because, I mean, even with 5, you know, someone should be in that control room at all times.
And you think about the past issues, you know, there's been a couple of escapes out of there. And having one person on, it just makes that a little easier in the minds of the ones inside there. You know, there's only one here, I can easily get out of here.
Could we
I
go,
think we've had a couple of that in the past.
could we go back to 10 employees what we had before? Where it was, you know, it was 2 and with, but, you know, the part-time staff, depending on how many hours they're working over there. I mean, obviously, the more that they work in there, the more acquainted they get with this, with how things work. Those, if they're working every so often, and they're not, they can't remember even how to do a booking process, that's a hindrance. Because just right from the booking process, things go wrong. So, I don't know how to answer that, Marion, but, I mean, if they have one on over there, that's on them. I won't do that. I would not put that on a staff member at all. I mean, one of my employees, because that's just not fair. That's putting a lot of weight on their shoulders. They're responsible for those people. We've got to give them the tools to do their job. It's no different than myself and the deputies. I mean, we're only effective to a point, you know, if we have the tools. So, there's no mandated, I mean, there's certain things that they want them to have training on. See, now there's standards on law enforcement. We have to have so many hours of training in a 2-year period. So, and they want to increase that. They talked about from going 40 to 60. So another 20 hours in a 2-year period. A lot of that I pick up, like mine, I pick up going to conferences because there's several long days of training. Our firearms is mandatory by the state, you know, there's different things. So, but it's what I make mandatory over there. To give them the tools to do their job and protect themselves and protect inmates. So I guess, you know, I don't know what else to say on that, but I do agree with Scott, we need to go into that election process with an idea of what we're gonna do, the outcome, and right now, we're still not at that. So,
You got anything else, Marion, on that? Well, I guess, that's exactly what I asked, to have have some ideas, I guess. And I guess my idea is too, I feel that if it's a no, I truthfully don't have a problem building something for Walworth County and house Walworth County. To me, I think that's probably what we should do. I don't know, we don't have them figures, but I think even at 6 million, I don't know, it just seems a little high, but I know we should do more research on that. And then, and if we can't make that work, then it'd be Plan C, just like Josh said. But that's how I look at it, and that's how I've had it in my mind since this whole thing started. That's my plan. Is to remodel and worry about Walworth County. I truthfully believe that when all them figures were being thrown around, I don't know, did they actually have a concrete figure for, there was always talk, but was there actually figures that they had figured for what it would cost to do this and that, add a little bit on there and do some remodel and still use our old, I think there was always just talk. I don't know, was there actually figures that were made, I mean.
well, when we made that request to Brad and EAPC, when they, Ryan, maybe you can shed light on this, they submitted the two forms with the renovation, correct? The 50/70 with and the renovation?
I thought they gave us a bunch for
With the breakdown. I thought they submitted all three. And then that's,
I guess I just don't recall the other one, but
Kevin, you can maybe relate with that, when we were, as committee, when committee met, we decided that wasn't an option, it was 50 when we went with the 70.
I don't remember if they said it's just not worth remodeling that at all.
Well, I think that's what their recommendation was, because they weren't gonna be able to fix all the issues, so to speak.
It's what
With
I
the
can
renovation.
remember is they said that it wouldn't be anywhere cost effective to remodel that one at all.
well, I'm just gonna state it, and I guess I don't care if any one of them guys are standing here. Them guys were out to sell a new jail, and if everybody can't see that, then you're blind. Them people there, all them people, they weren't concerned about a remodel. They were concerned about a new facility, and I'm pretty sure that I'm right. Could you even disagree, Josh, a little bit, that they wanted to sell a new jail?
Well, I think they looked at things the way we wanted them to, and when the board chose to take certain directions, they went with that. But I guess they looked at the options how we asked them to, and they're the ones that need to come back with those numbers. I'm not an engineer, I've never claimed to be. I have no idea. They got the experience, they built jails before, and so did the consultant that was working for you guys. So I mean, it is what it is, but we asked them to do those, so I don't know. I guess to a point, they brought their numbers back for us to go over and consult on. But as far as selling a facility, I mean, we went through the process to vet that out and bring that firm on. So I don't. I guess we followed the process that we needed to.
Okay.
But I guess I don't wanna, I mean, beat a dead horse here, but we need a jail here. It's gonna be a nightmare. It's trying to transport. Our liability and risk go up with having those officers and those inmates on the road. Those long distances. And we get some not so nice of knotheads that frequent our facility, that we're gonna be on the road for a long period of time with. And if they're drunk, higher than a kite, and that's not fun to deal with when you're making an arrest, and then have to do it for an hour and a half one way. And expect the deputy to do that. Because it's gonna take time to get the employees in place if you were to shut down. And for me to try and do it with 3 people, I mean, I'll be the first one to let the public know that we wouldn't have no law enforcement in the county, and that ain't safe. We have to have the availability of our law enforcement, and I don't wanna see my guys getting tied down with a bunch of transports.
Yeah. Well, I guess we got ideas out there. I guess that's what we kinda want. We gotta know kind of what have ideas. That's what I wanted, and I guess we got the ideas out there. We just figure out exactly which one we wanna, how we wanna go forward with that. So, well, we got our ideas out there, so now we just gotta move forward, so. Do you guys have anything else, Josh?
No, Mr. Chairman, I do not.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions on my August budget now?
We tabled one thing on claims.
We were just wondering what's the figure off for? 484.
For Swan Creek project.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what we owe the federal government for the grant.
and then we're gonna get reimbursed something for that? Cause were we
Our
not,
share of the grant was $605,000.
correct?
We paid a bunch of engineering fees and stuff last year, so it brought it down to 484, whatever it is. Game Fish and Parks is paying half of the 605,000. We're getting $300 and some $1,000 from Game Fish and Parks for that project.
Mhm.
But we have to pay the amount due.
So we'll get reimbursed from the Game Fish and Parks yet, that we haven't been reimbursed on?
No, we have not gotten that check yet.
So this 484 will be basically
But they-
184,000 when we're all said and done?
Well, can't look at it that way, but basically,
I mean, plus what we paid last year or whatever?
yeah, the total was $605,000
Mhm.
of the $3 million project. We paid 17.18%. So I'm asking you to pay that. That's what we owe them.
I need a motion to approve it.
Need that motion?
That's so moved.
We got a motion on the floor, need a second?
I'll second.
Got a second, any other discussion?
We were just wondering where, we thought we owed 300 instead of,
Oh, no,
44.
the county has to pay the 605,000.
but we're gonna get reimbursed for the
Well,
other.
I don't like that word reimbursed. It's a cost share with game fish and parks. It does not go back into the budget, but it goes into the 201 account when we get the money. It has nothing to do with the budget. I budgeted $610,000 for the Swan Creek project,
Okay,
okay? I mean, I don't want you thinking that money's going back in my budget, because it isn't. That budget doesn't
That's going
change.
back into your other.
It goes into the 201 account,
Goes into her fund.
which is
It's
highway.
not gonna reflect in her actual budget expenditure. Report.
But we have to pay that, we sign
Well, we
papers.
just wanted to get clarified exactly how,
Hmm,
that's all it was.
Okay,
We were just, that was the only thing is because of the amount, we were just concerned about that. That's all why we did.
difference from the 605 or?
Well, yeah, we didn't know, I didn't know, like, if you got the money yet, or what, from the
The other half.
half.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's here and there, when we get that. This, that 484,000 is gotta be paid.
Any other discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion passed.
So then that will get paid. Thank you. I would like to, I don't know, I've been getting quite a few phone calls. I don't know why or how or whatever, but people seem to think that the county is the one that is going to be repairing Lake Hiddenwood. Lake Hiddenwood has nothing to do with the county. The county has nothing to do with Lake Hiddenwood. That is a state park. So I just wanted to verbalize that today. Maybe get the word out. We have nothing to do with that park in any way, shape, or form. What they're gonna do with it, or when they're gonna fix it, or if they're gonna fix it, or if the county's gonna fix it. It's not a county.
I guess I haven't been
Period.
asked that. I mean, they asked if it's gonna get fixed, but
Yeah.
not by the county.
Oh, I've been asked many times when the county was gonna start working on Hiddenwood Park.
Well,
So, the county's not going to start working on Hiddenwood Park. County's
say
got
you
nothing
better
to do
have-
with Hiddenwood Park.
had one hell of a fundraiser.
Yeah. And the state at this time does not know what they're going to do with Lake Hiddenwood yet. When I talk to the state people, they do not know what their plans are. Especially with FEMA being denied too, so. County Road at 319, the community access grant. This is what needs to be done yet. Culvert put in at McFarland's, and that is scheduled to be done tomorrow. Extra gravel at the north end of the drive going up to the scales, that all needs to be hauled out. Seeding is scheduled for Wednesday. Concrete strength will be checked, the new concrete, in 7 days or so. They have tubes in there that designate the strength of the concrete. I've got the ditch shaping along the south side. They were looking at sealing the joints today, but everything's got to be drying with the rain. It's probably not going to happen. DOT was here on Friday, I believe it was, and they cleaned Norm's culvert out on its drive there, and their shovel went through it. So it is rusted out. They didn't know for sure what they were gonna do.
I
with
see they
that.
dug down, looks like it must be about a foot or better on that north side.
Yeah.
It looked like it drained the ditch, it looked like somewhat, not all of it, but.
Not all of it, because the culvert is too high to begin with, but it is, so. Mike was gonna, get a hold of John Gilbrand today and see what their recommendation to Norm was, or if that's actually in there right away, where they would have to replace. Cause I don't know if they got 65 foot there, if they got 100 foot there, what their right away is there. It varies.
Now, do they got that to the west down there on the south side of the road, do they got that filled in with, so it can be mowed? I mean, do they got that slope back?
They're working on all that, yes.
I was just,
To the west and north, are you talking?
no, south.
South, on
Yeah,
south,
west
no,
of,
not,
west of McFarland.
okay, no, all that is gonna be, that's in their scope of work this week, is to get all the ditch reshaping and stuff all the way along south.
Okay, now what about there by Jerome's building there? I mean, I know they.
There's
they got-
gonna be some,
But I mean, were they gonna fill gravel in? Remember we had talked
Yeah.
about that?
I don't think they were going back that far, and Jerome didn't want them to,
Yeah, but
when he was out there that day.
don't you still think it's gonna hold water there?
It ate it.
Doesn't it look like, it looks
It
to me
looks like
like,
it will,
looks to me like there's gonna be a
puddle.
water setting there.
Cool. They are I know that when they talked about it, they didn't think it was necessary to go back as far with the gravel
Probably
that
not.
we had talked about.
Probably not.
And then when Jerome was out there that day, he did not want that done. And so they're gonna do some reshaping there and then do the dip in that driveway.
Yeah, it looked like it
And
kind
so that'll go
of had
down.
roughed.
Yeah, go to the west.
But I mean, the gravel that piled to the west there, that's yours, isn't it?
Mhm. That will be hauled back down to the shop.
It just looks to me like there's gonna be a water hole there.
Mm.
It looks like it'd just be better off to fill that in now, cause it surely looks
It looks like it.
like a water hole.
But I'm not sure, I'd have to wait till they get done with their shaping to see how they do it.
Okay.
Yeah, they had checked the elevations between the south culvert, right off the right at the highway, that culvert that they put in with norms. And that's why they went and cleaned norms out, but that's all rusted, so that I don't have an answer to, of what the DOT is gonna do with that. I do have a pay request from Sharp for $114,909.30. And it's entirely up to you, whether you wanna pay that or you wanna, hold final payment till everything is done. There's also, I need you to consider, liquidated damages for not substantially completing the project by the completion date. It's $650 per day liquidated damages, going beyond the completion date of August 15th. Now sometimes the commission has waived those, sometimes they haven't. I just want you to be aware of that. I really don't want you to make a decision on that today. I just want you to know that that is in the contract with Sharp. The liquidated damages. We will have a full year warranty on the road when it's done. But I guess getting back to my question on if you want to pay this next portion or not, or wait till the project is done.
Yes, Becky.
What was that total?
$114,909.30.
Thank you.
Is that the final payment, or?
No. With the first payment and this payment, there's actually, Mike said, about $50,000 yet that has been held back because of non-related things. So if you wanna wait till the project is completed, that's your call.
To me, I would just personally wait.
I would say wait.
Okay, that's fine. I'll let them know.
Jim, what do you think?
Yeah. I would wait.
Yeah. Marion?
And then if we take that liquidated, for not being done on time.
Liquidated
That
damages,
comes off of that.
that would come off the final, if
Yeah,
you,
so, yeah,
if you choose to go
absolutely.
that way.
Yes, Jamie?
Did they have any weather days and stuff that we have to add back in?
So far they have not, now this week, we may have.
Sure.
So,
But we're looking solid, that 1st of August date is, or the
15th of
is the
August,
solid date then, there's
that
no.
was completion date
Good.
on the contract.
Yes, Becky?
There's no additional charges on any of that, right? You said they had to be under their bid, or right at their bid.
No change orders.
As
Not
far
to
as the
my
cost.
knowledge, there might be. There was some other stuff done out there, so Mike hasn't talked about any change orders, but, that will all be listed on the final bill, if there was any change orders and what the amount was. Cause we don't know for sure. And then there was, we did more curb and gutter than what originally planned.
650.
We're hoping if the concrete, if the tests for the concrete, come back, it has to be able to hold 4,000 pounds before they allow any traffic on it. And that can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 28 days. The south half was about 2 weeks. Mike said possibly, when I talked to him this morning about the tests on the weight concrete, that we're hoping possibly it would be open by the 28th, if the concrete comes up to the 4,000.
Because they did pour all 9 of them, didn't they, that they?
Yeah. Take the off and pour it. Yeah. So, that's all I got on that. Hopefully, I was hoping this week they would get it done, but now with the weather forecast, I don't know if there's rain every day, so possibility of rain.
And you said Norm did agree to that other little piece?
They did it,
No, they did it.
that's what Mike said, and that's between Clark and North.
Clark and Norm.
Yeah, yeah, that has nothing to do with the billing on this, that's between Clark and North.
Now, did they cut a piece of that off too to?
No, because they hadn't gone that far with concrete.
No, you know, how high up it was sloping, did they cut that back like they did at Jerome's building? You know,
I think
cut
they
that
did a
into
little
that.
bit because it doesn't look.
Doesn't look,
it
doesn't
as
look
high.
so aggressive anymore.
Yeah, and maybe they didn't. I guess I forgot to ask Mike about that. So many times when you look at things, the perception is different from what it actually is with the finished product. So I just know they went ahead and poured it. And so Norm, I'm assuming, agreed to it. And speaking of this project, where are we at with those letters?
We just talked about it before you came in, I'll have those to Becky today.
Okay, do we have amounts?
Yeah, nothing's
Just going
changed
with the
with our
original
amounts,
amounts.
but I'm going to talk to both of them again. I got meetings with both, so they said in September, both. And the other one was, they were hoping to be able to give more too,
Yeah,
so.
Cross your fingers.
yeah, because that's $106,000 that was not in my budget for this year. So,
Looks like Penny doesn't get paid this year.
guess not.
You got any date on the culvert on the Sitka Road yet?
No.
Any start date?
No. When I talked to Mike about it, he did not think that they would even look at starting until November.
Or the bridges either.
Bridges either. So. And November should be late enough, or should be over with by November. So,
Should be over by the 1st November, the way it's going.
yeah. But that's what his estimation was in November because of making of the culvert. That takes several months to do that, so that probably, and I haven't even sent them the order to proceed yet either. still mailing paperwork back and forth. But that was his best estimation was November.
Okay.
Anything else, Penny?
Nope.
Anybody got any, Penny? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, did anybody else have any old business? Like I said, I said mine about the nursing home, I hope people go to that meeting. So, hearing none,
The only thing on that, you should probably take account in case you have a quorum.
I'll be posting
Okay, you're gonna post it so we can have more than,
and I'll be
Three.
there.
okay,
I just told
We're
them they
covered
can't
then.
sit together, like,
as a group.
more than two.
I won't be there, so.
I won't be there because I'll be.
I gotta be in Radford tomorrow, so.
I guess I'm not posting.
Okay, then, just wanted to make sure we're covered on the open meeting process.
I just lied.
Okay,
Take it back.
just wanted to make sure, so.
new business.
Hearing none, I'll make motion to adjourn.
Okay, got a motion on the floor, I need a second.
That's second.
A second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay, motion passed.
Thank you.